Welcome to Hammerspace Recording. My name is Troy Neberbarn, and today we are looking at the ENGL Powerball module for the Synergy system. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for checking in another video. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe because, the channel's growing every week and I really appreciate the support. Today on the bench, we have the ENGL Powerball module, which is another amp I have maybe limited experience with. I feel like it came up in a session maybe 10 or 15 years ago. Someone locally had one and we shot it out against a bunch of other amps. I remember at the time just feeling like it was really cool, really saturated and furry. Probably at that time, not a sound I felt as comfortable playing, to be honest. I don't remember how much it was used on that project. I believe it was used for a few sounds. But yeah, ENGL in general is not a company that I've seen heaps of around. Maybe the Fireball, I feel like there's been one or two of those around. Something like the Savage, though, I've only seen it on the internet and played with it in modelers. I do have the Savage module, which we'll get to hopefully in a couple of weeks' time. But firstly, the Powerball module has been a pretty interesting little amp to try out. We'll play through the reamp section. You can have a listen to it with all the knobs and switches and whatnot. But yeah, it reminds me a lot of kind of what I get out of a 5150 in that it's quite easy to play and everything sounds kind of good with it gain-wise. I was quite surprised that the blue channel, I think it's blue on this one, the blue channel does more of a JCM 800 sort of a flavor, but the red channel has that really highly saturated, sort of just easy to strum a chord and you don't have to work your right hand too much to get a good tone out of it. So we'll play through the reamp section. You can have a listen. We are, like always, running my Gibson Les Paul reamped through Pro Tools here with the Undertone Audio GB tracker through the Syn20IR, which is then sending to a Marshall Vintage 30 cabinet, which is mic'd up in the other room with a Shure SM57. All right. Hope you dug that. So yeah, like I said, this is sort of 5150-ish to me. Like not in it's not that the tone's the same, it's just the experience feels similar to me. It's probably just has something to do with the fact that there's a lot of gain on tap. I have it dialed in at the moment in the high gain mode in the red channel, which it's probably not a sound that I'm going to use a lot with the various sessions that I do. But it's just really fun. Like, it's fun to be in drop D and just kind of hit a big... It stays really tight, and yeah, like that's without any sort of boost pedal or anything in front of it. So the first thing to talk about is the blue channel in this. To me was, it was kind of surprising. Like, I did look through the manual before I, plugged it all in and set it up, which is, I think I mentioned that in a video a couple of weeks ago. Just read the manual. All the live secrets exist in the manual. The internal switch on this amp says it likes setting 1, which is where I've left it at the moment. But yeah, in the manual, I guess it doesn't really refer to the blue channel so much as being like a lower gain sound. I kind of felt like this was going to be heavy metal the whole time. But yeah, look, this is where we've kind of ended up on that channel at the moment. I have the gain pretty well cranked at the moment. It sort of does a cleaner thing reasonably well as well, but to me, this sort of, crunchier, more gained out tone is probably where I prefer it. I also find, before I talk about the structure switches and all that in this amp, I liked cranking the EQs up a little bit more, the mid-range and the treble in particular. It's not that it felt like overly dark or anything, but just that mid-range control, like you can sort of hear it. Just cranked up a bit. It just gives it life, and yeah, it's pretty easy to play. In terms of the structure switches, I sort of preferred this in A. I could have got away with it in C as well. I just needs a little bit more help with that reactance knob just to give it that little bit of extra hair on top. The treble control in this is pretty smooth. So like if I put this into structure switch C and like goose the treble, that also feels pretty good. But look, for the purpose of this, and I guess like, I don't mind on this module starting with a slightly brighter tone and just maybe backing the treble off. That kind of feels reasonably cool to me. I mentioned this before, by the way, but this is the Morningstar controller that I'm using to, I usually have this on the floor, but I can't quite get it in the camera shot. There we go. I just have it laid out for the clean channel, the blue channel, and the red channel, and then structure switch A, B, and C, and that way it's just nice and easy to switch it without having to lean over so much. Moved around the amps a little bit in the last day, so hence it's on the desk at the moment. In its cleaner setting on this blue channel, I don't know how I feel about it. So here's where we started, which was very clean at the start of the video. Let's just hear a big old G chord. Really quiet. Let's just compensate with the output volume. Go to the neck. It's reasonably chimey and reasonably clear. And before I started recording the video, I probably spent about 20 minutes playing with this amp in the Syn20IR in the room. I've got a little 1x12 cabinet behind me, which you can sort of see there. A little orange 1x12 with a V30. I sometimes have that spot changes a little bit. I do have an open back V30 orange cab. Thank you to my friend Jay for sort of lending it to me and letting me play through it so much. But that's kind of a good test cab in the room, because the experience of playing these amps, or any amp, when you sit next to it versus listening through studio monitors is really, really different. So I'd say, like, I spent 20 minutes playing this amp, high gain, low gain. Having it just turned up a little bit, it felt pretty good, this clean sound. And when I say I don't know how I feel about it, it was just really clear and never sounded overly boomy, which I really quite enjoyed. And again, like, this is you just... I'll back the EQ off till it's not so bright. And maybe just for the sake of running something clean, let's put it into structure switch C, so that way it's a little bit darker. And I was running that for a little bit, thinking, like, that actually felt really good at the louder volumes. I like playing percussive, like if it's like, or even just like, sometimes on a Les Paul, I don't really like that so much. Also, I can play a minor 7 chord, not sloppy as well, just a little bit cramped with the desk. I quite liked the way that felt at volume. When the master volume was at, like, you know, barely cracked, and I was at bedroom volumes, it was pretty sterile and not super enjoyable, but, you know, with a bit of volume, it was cool. So I was playing that for a little while. I was into it, and then just out of interest, I went to the clean channel, which I've not really played that at all for the demo videos so far. So if we just listen to, this is the blue channel in clean setting, and then we go to the clean channel in the Syn20. It's pretty big. I mean, like, obviously it's pretty big. That bottom end and that sort of big room-filling, room-shaking tone, which, I mean, it's not there on the blue channel. It is certainly present there on the clean channel. Kind of makes sense. Like, you'd assume that this module has some amount of filtering, like early stages of the module, to make it feel tight and clear. And I think for certain guitars and certain sounds, that might be pretty satisfying. I kind of feel like if I was playing a Strat or a Tele with the blue channel in a cleaner setting, it might just be a little too thin for what I like. And the clean channel on this Syn20IR it's pretty usable. Like, it's clean. It's if you like clean, it does that pretty well. My preference for this module is, again, like, kind of running it in that hotter, more gainy bridge pickup. That kind of works for me. I'm not 100% certain what the best position is for the mid boost switch. Like, I had it just then in the upmost position. I don't notice a huge difference in the middle, so I don't know if it's like mid boost, it's off when it's all the way down, and then it's kind of like two different stages of boost. I couldn't quite find that in the manual, and when I did a quick search online, I couldn't quite find it either, but. Not overly different to me. In the top position, it does give it a bit more of that kind of like push, I guess, in the low mids. But somewhere around there is cool. Like the mid switch, I don't know. I like it. I like it somewhere. I just haven't quite worked out my preferred setup for it. But moving on to the red channel, which is where people probably, like me, really think about this amp for the gainy stuff. So. And, you know, I've got to apologize sometimes for just playing like, you know, open chords, even on high gain sounds. It's just as fun for me, and it's sort of where I naturally fall. My hands naturally fall on the guitar. You can hear, like, in this current setting, it is pretty throaty sounding. Which, you know, it sort of, it reminds me of that 5150 sort of a thing. Obviously, there's no boost on this at the moment. In the lower gain setting in this channel, like, I find that really comfortable. It's kind of, you can't, well, at least I wasn't really able to very easily match the two channels. So like in some of the modules, when we've gone from like a blue channel to the red channel, you can sort of like pick up on the red channel where the blue channel leaves off. These feel to me quite different. Not in a bad way, but it's like, you know, you've got two pretty different tones there to work with. For me, in the, like, running this module, like this red channel, sorry, in a lower gain setting. If we go to the blue channel. They feel pretty different. I mean, maybe that's just the EQ settings as well. That we just be a little bit more scientific about this, shall we? I mean, look, the gain is not quite right, but I mean, it's pretty low on one and pretty high on the other, and they feel pretty different. The red just has a lot more saturation to it, but that's not a bad thing. Like, that feels cool. And even for, like, you know, my Aussie pub rock covers, like, I could get away with that, even a little bit more. Why not? That feels kind of okay to me. It's sort of similar. The reactance knob and the structure switches. It's like more and more that I play these modules, it's a delicate balance. It's not that delicate, but there is a balance where having less reactance and maybe like structure A versus more reactance and structure C or whatever, you're not going to get to the same destination, but you can get in the same ballpark of where the top end lies in the tone. I'd say with this module, like flicking through on the reamp section, there was a lot of times when I really liked it in structure C, and compensating for it with the reactance or even just the treble knob, because yeah, the treble doesn't feel harsh to turn it up. So yeah, I don't really have a preference. I think it really speaks to the fact that this is a versatile sound, and you can really tone shape with those knobs in pretty creative ways. And it might be to compensate for the guitar that you're using in the cabinet and that sort of stuff, or it might be just to really like craft your own like tone with it. So like with this, let's give it a bit more juice. How about we put it onto the red channel, hey? So we're in A at the moment. Let's just hear what it sounds like to go to C. Like, you can hear how much darker that sounds, right? Let's just try the reactance up a bit. Like, that feels pretty cool. Let's back the reactance down and maybe turn the treble up a little bit. I mean, to be honest, in that scenario, I probably prefer the reactance higher and not the treble, but maybe it's just, there's a lot of ways you can change a tone, man. Like, try this mid level. That feels pretty cool. So yeah, I don't have one way that I found that I've liked this module yet. There's like probably about 4 or 5 different sounds that I've got where I've been like, oh, that's cool. I could hear that working in a track. Like, let's just quickly finish on the high gain stuff. Like, I'll put this into drop D. Don't even need a tuner, just, you know, oh, should we double check? So we're in high gain, mid's boosted, so on the EQ, we're in the not mid boost switch, high gain there. Let's go back to structure A. Kind of reminds me of like what you get out of just putting a boost in front of an amp, like that rolling off of the bottom end, emphasizing the mid range. It just has that kind of like barkings to it. Maybe that's all that switch is just adding a boost up the front or something in that ballpark. I did a little bit of research in this amp and the module before I made the video, and there were maybe 1 or 2 comments I read about people not liking boosting it so much. And to be honest, like, the way that sounds at the moment, I don't know why you'd need to boost it. It sort of has the tone built into it, you know? It's like, it's hairy. Maybe I just don't play enough like extended instrument, detune, whatever sort of fast stuff. But to me, that feels pretty tight and pretty beefy, but also clear. So yeah, look, it's a sound that I really dig, you know. I'm kind of curious to pull this out next time I've got a heavier part to record on something. Just see if it's gonna maybe, instead of like the Mesa Boogie, or maybe like even the VH4 module, which is a different sort of high gain sound. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what it can do for me in those scenarios. So yeah. So that was the ENGL Powerball module for the Synergy system. Thank you very much for watching the video. I said it once and I'll say it again. Please like and subscribe because I really, really appreciate it. There's heaps more modules to demo. I think I'm 6 out of like 20 something through. And yeah, like probably a video or 2 every week, hopefully up until Christmas. So yeah, like the channel, follow me on Instagram, check out my Tonex packs, and I'll see you next time. See you later.